We've passed the trial of taxidermy. The door stands open.
Oh boy. Totally
Let's
worth
go
it.
inside, Geralt.
Oh my god. How much of a map? I've ripped off his head? These fists are weapons of mass destruction. What about the ball?
A basin of water.
For teleprojection, a reflection of Ermion appears on the surface. Supplicants speak to it.
Oh. Okay, interesting. Poor wolves. They didn't deserve this. But seriously, weapons of mass destruction, I tell ya.
I'll lock the entrance. We don't want to raise suspicions.
And we're not raising suspicions with all the dead taxidermy animals?
We must search it thoroughly. The mask of Uroboros must be here.
Yeah, is it an actual mask or is it just... Hello?
Wondrous world of insectoids. Ritual plants. Ah, what do you know? Raymond Marlove. A biography enhanced.
Wait. Raymond... Is that by any chance the guy from Vizima? There was a Raymond, a private investigator or something. Not sure. Anyway, that's a big pine cone. I'm not going to touch a random pine cone. I'm just going to look around to see what the hell we're doing. Okay, skull. Map, hello.
Look at this. A detailed map of the northern kingdoms. Even shows spheres of influence over the ages.
Out of date.
Really? That certainly looks like Nilfgaard is really making progress. Dear oh dear. And those be the Skellige Isles. All the way to the left. Huh. Interesting. And meanwhile...
Statue's hand looks like it should be holding something.
Something in order to open a secret passage right over here. Okay. Ooh, hello. The White Frost. One can hear Ithleen's prophecy whispered at every market, garbled and reused by every village witch, delved into any treatise touching on sooths and diviners, and in general saturating our common culture. We all know that the time of the wolf's blizzard approaches, the time of the white frost, and that the world will perish amidst ice. But few truly understand the meaning of these words. The self-proclaimed prophets who shout out Ithleen's words mistake stars reflected in a still pond for the sky. For the white frost is no legend or mythical apocalypse. It is a natural phenomenon that can be described in the dry yet precise language of scholarship. The renowned scholar of Thorn's studies have clearly shown that our world is not the center of the universe, but one of thousands such globes spinning in an endless darkness of space. This space is usually described as a vacuum, yet to do so is grossly misleading, for though this vacuum swims, invisible to naked eye, the white frost. Okay, didn't know about that. We do not know exactly what the white frost is. Perhaps some microscopic dust that blocks the incoming light of the sun. Perhaps infinite small particles of the sorts postulated by the Democritus of Barnard, with the unusual property of sucking up warmth as a sponge does water. We know for certainty, however, that, thanks to the telescopic observations of elven astronomers, the white frost, whatever it is, has already destroyed a great many worlds. The star systems in which it appears perish into lifeless hunks and chunks of ice over the course of a few decades. And furthermore, each scholar is agreed that the white frost will one day come to our world. Ithleen's prophecy, though based on magic intuition and not scientific observation, thus appears to foretell the truth. Many mages are skeptical about the thesis presented here, and I recommend they carry out the same experiment I have conducted in my own laboratory. Using the spell Portus Asterum, open a microscopic portal for 3.5 seconds to the coordinates, and yet before you do, dress in your warmness first and ready an axe for breaking through thick ice. Interesting for sure. And the white frost is the white frost is linked to the wild hunt. It just leaves tons of questions. Also, this Ermion has apparently got an Excalibur here.
A sword in a stone. Things begging me to pull it out.
It's not in the stone, don't you see? It's held there by a vice.
What the hell's a vice? And also, we had to show off, obviously. Although it did kind of look a little bit foolish. Toy
A
horse.
goat carved out of linden wood, signed to Uncle Ermion.
Or a goat.
Little Ciri's handiwork.
This is serious?
That's what she called him when he was her tutor.
That's adorable. Doesn't look like a goat. Looks more like a horse, but that's fine. I'm not really an artsy person.
Laboratory worthy of an imperial alchemist.
Clearly. But he has closed off a secret entrance with mead? Why mead? Why is that important? The Corpse of Novigrad.
Goes in for light reading, too. The Corpse of Novigrad by Sasha Hadi.
Apparently. Alexander Ho walked down the long corridor, delighted that the sounds of debauchery pouring out of the rooms drowned out the sound of his footsteps. The long-neglected brothel floor creaked and moaned, as though the woods regretted being witness to the lecherous scenes fed to it by this house of ill repute standing in the very center of the pride of the northern cities. Ho had been generously remunerated for this visit by the wife of a silk merchant. She had long suspected her husband of dabbling with loose women during his working hours. The case had seemed simple enough, banal even. The cheating husband. How many similar affairs had he unraveled? The worst was that his employer never truly wanted him to bring irrefutable proof of their husband's guilt. On the contrary, in their hearts of hearts they always hoped his investigations would prove their husbands model citizens, and their suspicions wholly unfounded. This time it truly did turn out that the woman's husband was no whoremonger, despite the fact that his trail led Alexander to a place in which fleshly pleasures were bought and sold. The door in front of which he stopped, following the instructions he had received from the gnome at the entrance, had a small plaque with the number 16 on it. Unlike the other rooms, this one was enveloped in an unsettling calm. Ho turned the doorknob and pushed the door open, and what he saw behind it far exceeded his worst expectations. To be continued. And now I do want to know where that story ends, but no. Hello, hi. Tales of the Wild Hunt. Wild
Skelliger's
Hunt.
tales about the wild hunt.
The islanders believe the wraiths sail on a longship built of the claws of dead men.
The Navalgar or whatever? Like I've heard about that myth. Let's see. The island folk of Skellige, like many nations of the north, hold a series of beliefs about the wild hunt as recorded in legends, myths, and fables. This horrifying phenomenon is said to herald the coming of war and misfortune. Characteristic of their tales and distinguishing them from their continental versions is that the islanders imagine the wild hunt not as a cavalcade of wraiths galloping across the night sky, but as a ghostly longship. The vessel, called the Naglfar, is said to be built of the claws of dead men. Apparently my knowledge is on par with this. For this very reason, superstitious Skelligers removed the nails of their dead, expressly to prevent them from being used to fortify this ghastly ship. In many legends, the Naglfar sails out of Morhawk, the land of chaos, and thus bringing that chaos home. Well, okay, so, a stick? Hello?
Ermion's wand. He's one of the few druids to use one.
Okay. Why don't more druids use it? Like, call it a wand, call it a wandle stick. Doesn't matter, but...
Statue's hand looks like it should be holding something.
should be holding a pine cone, or a skull, or mead. Let's take them all.
Pine cone. Didn't expect this. A large female.
Do pine cones have genders? Like I thought that plants had genders, but pine cones themselves? Interesting. Alright, let's try this. It's thinking, and it...
Looks like Ermion places something in the statue's hand.
It's gonna be mead. Either mead or a skull is not gonna be the pine cone, but we can try the pine cone.
What do you say we give it a pine cone?
Definitely not.
Nothing.
Okay, then I definitely need to look around some more.
Need something else. Gotta look around.
Either the skull or the mead. The fact that mead is an option. It could be as a wine glass, the way you hold that. It's so gonna be the mead. But I'll take both. I'll take the skull.
Child's skull.
Child's skull? Okay, that's a little bit gruesome. Do I want to know the story there? Why the hell do you have a child's skull just sitting on your desk? And why do you have a bottle of mead? Or
Dwarven triple mead.
a cup of mead? It's so gonna be the mead, I tell ya. But first,
Let's try again.
let's try the skull.
So, statue, how about a skull?
To be or not to be? It's clearly not the right answer.
Guess you're no indecisive prince.
And thus, mead it is. Or something else, but...
How about a mug of mead? Statue or not, everybody needs a drink sometimes.
of course.
Seems like it worked. Who would have thunk?
Ermion enjoys jests achieved at the expense of others. I have a sneaking suspicion the mask will be in here.
But what does that mask do? What do we need it for? I'd love to know, honestly. Ah, dear, oh dear.
Geralt, come here. I found the mask.
That's brilliant. Have you also seen the golem that's standing behind it? Currently inactive, but... not gonna be inactive for long at this rate. It is the mask we're looking for.
We've got it. We must return to the feast quickly before...
Before that. Thank God I did bring my sword to this party. But nonetheless, greetings, Earth Elemental. Oh, you think. Okay, first things first, I have my sword. Brilliant. I'll put on my other sword as well. I'll grab my crossbow. Everything is fine. I don't have the time to change my outfits. I don't have the time to change my outfit. Okay, you keep it busy. I'll get my Quen up, and then we can get started. Yeah, this Earth Elemental does not stand much of a chance. Maybe a little bit. Come on, big boy. Come on. Okay. When I say come on, I don't mean that as a way of feel free to hit me in the face, friend. Come on. Okay, you know what? You know what? Here, have this. Have this right in the back. It's a party of magic all day long. Come on. There we go. Golem down. Easy peasy.
Geralt, hear that?
Smelled it. Gas. Grate still closed. Gotta think of something quick.
Art? Art is not... oh, there's a lot more. Okay, this is definitely not good.
The damned druid will poison us. This vapor's deadly. We've got but a few minutes.
Teleport us out of here.
Think of something. Quickly. First thing to come to your mind.
We're gonna choke... okay, if this is the end...
Hold on tight.
if it is the end, then I want to kiss you. At least that brings us to safety. It's a happy memory.
tore a hole in my dress. Wait a minute, I must mend it.
You know how to sew.
Please. I'll enchant a needle.
That's fancy. Oh god, no. Wouldn't mind. That is... Yes, okay. I wouldn't mind watching you enchant a needle to see how that works and see it work its magic. But we all know that is not the point of that answer. No. I'm not gonna do that. Maybe at a later point in time I'll smack myself against the head of, oh, I missed out on so much fun and whatnot, but right now it just doesn't feel right. We should get back to the wake.
Really wonder if Croc will be willing to help.
He knew Ciri well. She and Hjalmar played together as children. There. Good as new.
Let's get back to the wake.
Croc and Craite asked about you.
We went out. For a breath of fresh air.
The claimants to the throne will step forth in a moment.
Now heed my words. There is no greater act of valor than to fight a beast cursed by men and gods. No greater deed than that done to serve the goddess.
Words of uncommon beauty. We thank you, and we'll take them to heart. But now, let's begin. We have seen Bran off to the beyond, and must now choose his successor. A king must be wise. A king must command respect. A king must have bollocks. We've no lack of men like that. Let those who feel worthy of the throne of Skellige step forth.
Now you're thinking about it as well. I do hope the others won't mind.
Could not be here this day. Behold his axe. Behold his will.
Yep, she's going for it. Go, Ceres. Even though it might not be approved of. Well, to be honest, okay, a small dagger does seem a little bit feeble.
Woman, win. What's got into her?
She's your daughter, is she not?
Now I know why she said she'll sail to Speakerog. Ah, children. The older they grow, the more trouble they are. Come with me. All the more essential we talk now.
I've got a feeling a lot is about to happen on the Skellige Isles.
When Ciri was nearing womanhood. I remember well her nan, her mother, what they were like. They say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Ciri was impossible to control. No telling her what to do. Had to have things her own way almost always. Why do you ask?
No specific reason. She and Ceres, they're of a similar age. But we'll speak of my children later. First, let's speak of yours. Yennefer claims Ciri's in trouble, and you seek her.
That's right.
If you require aid, gold, ships, anything, Merely say the word. I'll give you all I can. And I know the lass lives. I'm sure of it. When the blood of Rhiannon's daughters is shed, the sea grows white with fury. I'd mark such a storm.
Yeah, we need your help with Ermion, and we know where she might have been. We're going to need your help with Ermion, because apparently he doesn't want to let us anywhere near where we want to try and go.
Need your help. Ciri probably came here to Skellige.
And very likely caused the cataclysm along the coast. The site upon which the druids focus so intensely now.
A site Ermion refuses to let us explore.
Specifically, he won't let me explore it. We fought. We're not friendly now.
Don't concern yourself with him. Druids have little trust for mages. But Ermion's heart is in the right place. Am I right to assume he does not know you seek Ciri?
It's of no concern to him.
As I thought. At any rate, Art Skellig's my isle. You've my permission to investigate as you see fit.
Thank you. But do I maybe need to talk to Ermion? Maybe? I mean, if he doesn't trust mages, maybe he'll trust me, because I'm not really a mage.
Wondering if I should talk to Ermion.
Leave that to me. Go. Seek and find your Cyrilla. If any ill befell her here, on Ard Skellig on my watch, I'd never forgive myself.
Thank you.
No need. I swore an oath once. I aim to keep it. Unfold. Tell the druid I must speak to him. At the usual spot. I've one more matter to broach. My children. You remember Hjalmar? Well, he swore an oath to kill the giant of Undvik. Set off and has yet to return. Whereas Ceres announced that she's to set off on an adventure of her own. Got it in her head that Udalric is not mad, but cursed.
Okay. That's interesting. And Ceres is intending to lift Udalric's curse then?
Take it Ceres wants to lift the curse.
There's no curse to speak of. Ceres has decided she must match Hjalmar and sort out a deed worthy of a queen.
Think she might need my help? You did plan to ask me for it. Why?
The thing is, I don't trust Udalric further than I can spit. Ceres won't listen to me, or her brother. Yet confronted by a professional who will explain why she's mistaken, she just might come to her senses.
But what if she's not?
Yes, I ask that you explain things to her and bring her back.
Like, I have got no familiarity with this Udalric, but if he is indeed cursed, she might be on the right track. But regarding Hjalmar, or your son, I thought all the giants died ages ago, apparently?
Giants. They've been extinct for ages. Anyone actually seen the one on Undvik?
Aye, dozens of refugees have. The giant drove everyone off the isle. I've welcomed what remains of Clan Tordarach here on Ard Skellig.
I heard a rumor that an unnatural frost gripped Undvik before the giant appeared.
It's true. At any rate, Hjalmar decided to kill the giant and give the isle back to its people. A deed worthy of a king, he believes. My son gathered a hearty crew at the new port. They were to sail to Undvik, then travel on foot to Oskar, the village. But that many lads should have killed the giant long ago. Thus, I thought to ask you.
Track
You
them
should
down.
start at the new port. Ask around. Hjalmar might have told someone there his plans.
Could be a nice idea. So, I will help out your children, sure. But I do wonder, you've no desire to be king yourself? Like, everyone is taking their shot, but not you.
Can't help wondering. Got no plans to vie for the crown yourself? Think a good number of the Jarls would support you.
A good number? Those opposed would be fierce, rabid. Madman Lugas would sooner see an Nilfgaardian on the throne. Besides, Man should know when to step aside. Hand the tiller to the youth among us.
I guess that is fair, and also decently noble. But anyway, as I said, I'll help out your children as you help out us.
If either Hjalmar or Ceres need help, I'll help them.
I thank you.
Well, now that we're done thanking one another, let's get to work. We must determine if Ciri is still on Ardskellig. I'll change into travel attire and find you. Head south. The anomaly we should investigate destroyed a stretch of forest along the shore of the bay. A successful feast on all counts, Crach. I will see you later.
And so we stand alone, near the top of Gertrude. Things are about to get a whole lot more complicated in the end, aren't they? Oh boy. Well, I'd say it's time we get dressed into proper attire, just like Yennefer, and prepare for the journey ahead. Alright, the proper armor has been donned yet again, which means we are almost ready for the adventure ahead. The only thing I'm currently really wondering is... Yeah, is there a way for me down that does not involve going through the big tunnel? And it also doesn't involve fast travel, because seriously, if I have to run all the way through this entire area, just to get to the top of this bloody... Gertrude? Is Care just a word for a castle? Because when I read this word, I think Kaer Morhen, and at the beginning I thought Gertrude is probably also a Witcher castle thing, but no, apparently not. But yeah, I'm currently wondering, is there a staircase that goes even further down and leads me... what's that? Okay. Unsure what a wheel is doing here. Is there a... Is there a way for me to go down through multiple staircases? This is Geralt of Rivia, who's currently surprised by the fact that you have seemingly got an elevator. This is an elevator, right? Okay, was not expecting that. But there is a way down through staircases and ladders and whatnot. Okay, call me curious, but I'm curious. Do I use it here? Do I use it here? I use it here. Oh, please don't let this be the end of me. Okay. Yep. This is fine. Totally fine. Nothing wrong. I have all faith in this very flimsy contraption. This is fine. Quite clever though. And it would have been awesome to know that this was here before I ran up the entire mountain. How many people could this carry? Could this carry a monster corpse as well? I mean, for business purposes, it would be nice to know.
Punishing him for murder. But they was prisoners he killed.
You blithered about that before.
Well, this is handy. Nice to know this is here. Yeah, before we continue, I do have a few more things to read up on. Starting with some information on Hjalmar and Craite. The saying, like father, like son, fits Crach and his firstborn son to a tittle. Or title? No clue. Young Hjalmar took after his father in both posture and character, and many predicted that in time he would overtake his elder in the honor and fame he would gain. An extremely able, broad-shouldered swordsman, he had the makings of a superb warrior, and his charisma and tendency towards almost brave bravura meant he could stir the hearts of loot and glory-craving youth from all of Skellige Isles and clans. All these traits made Hjalmar an obvious choice for the next king of Skellige. He thus did not hesitate to stake his claim when the time for it arrived, and immediately set off for Undvik to prove his heroism by battling the legendary Ice Giant. And I am curious about this Ice Giant, for apparently a rapid cold or something also arrived by the time this giant appeared, so maybe there is a portal over there that brought this giant here. Maybe it has something to do with the Wild Hunt and the White Frost. Could be, maybe, no clue, I'm curious. But other than that, there be many other things left to do, with one of those being echoes of the past. Meet Yennefer at the site of the magic cataclysm. A magic cataclysm had devastated a large part of the Isle of Ardskellig, and Yennefer suspected Ciri had something to do with it. The raven-haired sorceress thus set out with Geralt to the Isle's mysteriously deformed woods to look for signs of their one-time ward's presence. And where would that exactly be? All the way over there, and there's a merchant. Well, Yennefer is putting on her travel attire. She can teleport, she can do whatever the hell she wants. She knows that we will have to walk there, and she knows that we will get distracted along the way there, most definitely. Yeah, I will most likely also deal with the Lord of Undvik, and also the Muir Diablen. About that, Lord of Undvik, let's see. Possession we also had. Ask Udalric where Ceres is. Concern filled CRACH'S voice, and something else. Pride? The Jarl had pulled Geralt aside during King Bran's wake to confess his worries about his daughter Ceres. She had sailed to Spikarug, seeking to cure Jarl Udalric's mysterious affliction. A dangerous mission that one would certainly be less so with a witch's help. And Geralt eyed his old friend over carefully, and then made his decision. To of course go and meet Ceres at one point, because why wouldn't we help her out? And then we also got the Lord of Undvik. Ask around at the Newport Inn about Undvik and the Ice Giant, and sail to the island of Undvik and search for Hjalmar. It is a truth universally acknowledged that children's only prove more troublesome as they mature. In CRACH'S case, any troubles his offspring had caused him only doubled after King Bran's death, when both his son and daughter joined the ranks of the claimants of Skellig's throne. Tradition demanded the next king be a great hero, and Hjalmar, CRACH'S son, felt he fit the bill perfectly. As anyone versed in fables knows, there is no more fitting way to prove oneself a hero than to kill a giant. And it so happened there was one such beast in desperate need of slaughtering on the nearby Isle of Undvik. Thus, Hjalmar had organized an expedition and set off to earn his glory. Unfortunately, there had been no word of him since the Jarl had no word since, and the Jarl had begun to worry. Like many before and after him, he took this worry to the Witcher. And of course, we will help. Because again, why not? And we just love to get distracted, so it is going to happen. But for now, I think the plan is we travel south, we maybe ask around a little bit about Undvik and the Ice Giant in the Newport Inn. We're not going to travel there just yet. We're going to see what this deal is with the Muir Diablen, and then slowly get distracted as we go south, go to probably all the way down here, see what we can do with the horse races. Or we can make a small stop over here and look for this family blade. Yeah, we'll travel here, take the family blade, go back to Randvik, do some horse racing, travel all the way further south and look what the deal is with this woodland spirit, talk to Swen about the contract, and then travel further south towards more horse races and slowly make our way back to Yennefer. Yep, that seems like a very good plan. And other than that, I think we have a little bit of alchemy to do because, again, because we went to the Newport Inn, we've got a whole lot of stuff to craft. So, I am most definitely gonna craft quite a few white gold because I am not going to use any of this for anything else, I hope. So, yeah, I'll be right back. 13 white gold, gotta love it. And with that, we could make drowning pheromones. Drowners will not attack the Witcher. Oh, I like that. Yes, please make this. That'd be interesting. But we can make this with Rebis. We need Vermilion and one more Vermilion. 1 Rebis, 2 Vermilion. Let's quickly make those as well. There we go. Superior Blizzard for me. Superior Maribor Forest. And Superior White Rabbit Decoction. Gotta love it. And all the rest, yeah, we can't make anything else. Because unfortunately, we lack all the required resources. But that's fine. And lastly, the thing that I wanted to do, I think... Yeah, we've got a slot available. And I have been thinking about what I want to do. And I think, for starters, I'm gonna move raid management all the way over here. I can't yet make anything greater than a lesser red mutagen because I lack the red mutagen, unfortunately. But I do think I want to expand a little bit in this area. Because if I have to fill these 2 slots at a later point in time, they'll probably be filled with some combat-related material. And right now, because we have not the required amount of points available, I could go with strength training and increase my strong attacks. Would be helpful, but most of the time I just resort to fast strike, so muscle memory is the better option here. I like the idea of precise blows to increase critical, or increase the chance to land a fast critical hit, which is awesome, and of course critical hit damage up. Seems perfect for me, but in order to get there... Okay, lightning reflexes, no. Time slowed while aiming with a crossbow, not useful. Deflecting arrows while parrying, I got my Quen shield, I have no need for this. Strength training, maybe, but not really. But then I look at resolve. Adrenaline point loss upon taking damage is lowered by 20%. I haven't really paid too much attention to actually me losing adrenaline points when taking damage, but I do sometimes take very silly damage. And I do rely an awful lot on these adrenaline points with the use of rage management and my spell casting, so I'm thinking I'm gonna go with resolve. And hopefully, by pumping this all the way up, adrenaline point gain will also go up. This will just help me out an awful lot. So I'm just gonna pump all my points right into this. Even though I can already right now go for the lower section here, but I have no reason to do that just yet. At level 26 maybe. So I'm just gonna go all out on resolve because I already spent the points in it anyway. There we go, all the way up to 5, which means adrenaline point loss upon taking damage is lowered by 100%. I like that idea, and a lot more adrenaline points gain. And, okay, we've got 5 points available. There's one more thing that I want to do. This might not be all too useful, but because we are currently lacking a Fiend decoction, and I do sometimes run into the issue of, hey, I'm carrying way too much. Maybe I'll take Strong back. Maximum inventory weight is increased by 60, and I can slot this in whenever I feel like it when I'm carrying too much, to at least make things a little bit more bearable for the time being. So, Strong back I also will take, and... theoretically, I like Firestream. Firestream is fun. I'm gonna put 1 point into Art Sweep and see if this might be something that I like. I'll replace it with Firestream for now, but maybe Art Sweep can be fun. So there we go. And next one would be even lower knockdown chance, or the knockdown chance is lowered only 70% instead of 21. Maybe it's fun. So you go in there, everything is fine, and now my art will be absolutely amazing.
If he breaks the truce, he'll prove himself the madman we all call him.
And if that lad of his crosses my path, he'll truly be a blue boy.
Oh boy. Yeah, there's certainly be a whole lot of possible powder in this keg that could blow up at any possible second. But yeah. Anyway, time for us to move on. Time to see what we can do in regards to talking to the people, at least at the Newport Inn, about Unvik and the Ice Giants. Now the question is... oh boy, it will certainly be quite a full house tonight. Who do we talk to? Do we talk to the innkeeper? Do we talk to any random person here?
Watch your step.
Quick as a viper.
I will watch my step. Do you know anything about this possible Ice Giant on Unvik?
What do you want?
I'm looking for people from Unvik.
They're dead.
See now, I heard many survived.
Stubborn, get your... What do you want to know?
I want to know what
There when
happened.
the giant attacked?
Aye, I was. One of the Jarl's personal guards. I failed him.
led no credence to what the priestesses said. That we'd be punished for robbing the earth of iron, forging it into blades that men kill one another with, that Freya would punish us. Perhaps they spoke the truth.
Maybe, but you never really know, because again, prophecies, you never know what to do with them. But the Jarl of Undvik, how did he die? Was he killed by this ice giant?
Jarl of Undvik. Tell me about his death.
Jarl Harald Houndsnout. His whole crew died that night. Wilmar, Wilfred, and Wilhelm. I reached them too late. Saw the giant dash Wilmar against a rock. He fell right beside me. All his bones broke, wriggling like a salmon on the sand.
Oh boy.
Harold was dead by then.
What? No, Jarl fought like a bear. Slicing and dodging and hollering, then slicing again. Couldn't save himself, though.
So clearly this giant really is a big danger. But how did you manage to survive then? I mean, did you flee before that happened, or...?
How did you manage to survive?
First I heard the giant growl to those flying sirens. Damn me if he weren't giving them orders.
Under stress, men see all kinds of things.
I know what I saw. Rushed to help the Jarl, but one of the cunts sunk her talons in me, lifting me up. Tried to take me to their nest, pecked me apart, I reckon. But I broke loose of her grip, plummeted from quite a height, crashed hard, couldn't stand. Last thing I saw, swarm of sirens swooping down on the Jarl, thrashing round him. He yipped, he yelped, he screamed, he hollered. Then silence. The men escorting the women and the children to the ships took my unconscious flesh away and brought me to Ard Skellig.
Well, I'm glad that you have actually made it out alive as a result and have been able to tell this story, so that people avoid Undvik until the threat is dealt with. Anyway, thank you, but I guess it's time for me to be on my way.
I should go.
Yeah.
Good luck.
He's looking to get hired on the ship.
Well,
I've no mind
that'd be
for
one story. Do more people know anything? Does the Who else might be from Undvik? Who else can tell me? You're not from Undvik. Jonas?
Greetings, welcome.
Have you by any chance heard anything? Because I heard Hjalmar recruited men here by any chance to actually go to Undvik.
Heard Hjalmar came here to gather men for his expedition.
Aye, he did. Such spirit. Stormed in, swept the bowls off the table, jumped atop of it and cried, "I'm sailing off to seek glory. Who's with me? Who wants to cut off that bloody giant's head?"
Guess that was enough to recruit a longboat full of men.
They carried him out on their shoulders, yelling all the while, "We'll win back the forge, string that giant up by his gizzards." Should have seen it, Witcher. Brought tears to my eyes.
Yeah, I just hope that the news regarding all their deaths won't bring many tears to people's eyes. But it seems Hjalmar is quite popular around here. Would make for proper king material as a result, eh?
Hjalmar seems popular around here.
He is CRACH'S.
Clever lad. Put together a fine crew. Hardy drinkers and warriors both. By the times I've had to piece together tables and benches after hosting them.
Oh boy.
The Undvik lads he took on. No spring minnows either. In fact, 'twas a clan Tordarach man gave Hjalmar the idea for the expedition. The shipwright, what's his name? Viggy? That's him. Hoped to earn a new by-name, the Fearless. Till now they'd call him the Loon.
Okay, but you mentioned a forge. I have heard some tales about that too. What's that about?
They wanted to take back a forge? What's that about?
Never heard the Undvikers forge the best armor in these isles. Their swordsmiths are nothing to sneeze at either.
'Cause we made our blades like the dwarves forged their sails.
Soft layered core fitted with a hard steel coating.
How do you know? That's a clan Tordarach secret.
Got some friends who are dwarves.
Perhaps you do. But the ore from the mines of Undvik, why, not even... Well, no one's got it. That's that.
Well, that's fair. But I'm looking for the tools required to make these weapons in the style of, well, the dwarves. So, yeah, we're definitely gonna have to go to Undvik at some point. But about Hjalmar's plans, have you heard anything about them? What was he actually planning? Was it just rushing him blindly and screaming, Hjalmar, on Craite! Or whatever? What was he planning?
Hjalmar must have had a plan. Tell me about it.
Plans? Ha! They didn't even know where to look for this giant. As I recall, Viggy wanted to cross a frozen lake and scale the mountains.
They say the giant came from there, awoken by the frost that gripped the land around the tower.
To the harsh winter. Suited that man-eater perfectly. It can only get worse. Even the gods. Well.
So around this tower,
Ragnarok is nigh. You'll see, all of yous.
I guess we will see if Ragnarok is indeed nigh. But for the time being,
So long.
Glad to be of service. If you need to know more about Undvik or the giant, ask Axel, or that one over there, Ranter.
I'll definitely speak to Rante, because I've already spoken to Axel. Thank you very much, Jonas. Before I go though,
Greetings, welcome.
by any chance did you restock on stuff?
What smells so delicious?
You restocked. I'm taking your secondary Quint card. Thank you very much. And you know what? I'm just taking more of this. I don't know how much more I will need in the future, but I'm taking it now since I have the money for it. I don't care if it's bloody expensive. I'm taking all your booze. Now I just hope that the men around here won't be too upset with me. But it's fine. Thank you. So
Thanks
long.
for sparing a moment.
So, oh, excuse me. Okay, who was it that we needed to speak to? Rams? This fella over here? No, Tante, Javor. Who are you?
I'm looking for men from Undvik.
Uroboros from the Isle, and I once cut those waters with nary a rest. Could trace you the shoreline in my sleep. A lovely excursion, if not for the bloody sirens.
Yeah, I've heard about them.
Me or Axel and Tartarog? He's over there. What can a bloke from Ard Skellig know about Undvik?
Heard you trilling a different tune when Hjalmar was gathering his crew. Your love for the Craite fade that quick.
That doesn't mind down there.
What now? Why didn't you go with Hjalmar? I mean, all more power to you if you don't want to go, but just curious.
Hjalmar's from there, or so he claims. And you seem to know these waters. Why didn't you sail with Hjalmar?
Because that kind of expedition needs a true leader. And a whelp looking to collect bumps on his skull can only be its doom. Once I...
You'd rather sit in your arse nose in the air, you Zaracanian princess. Brave lad comes along, you sail with him. I'd have sailed with Hjalmar if only those seahorses hadn't banjaxed my knee. Would have sailed instead of sharing a table with a grumpy barnacle like you.
You'd sail with anyone who'd let you aboard. CRACH'S daughter included.
Well, I'll take that as a possible insult. But really, not exactly that kind, but you mentioned sirens. And others have mentioned the sirens possibly working with this giant, which is a frightening idea, but...
You mentioned sirens. Many on Undvik?
So many. More on the other house.
Bollocks.
Once they attacked Lars and me when we were fishing. Before we could drive him off, they pulled Lars in the water and scratched me up so bad that... Boy!
Drive away the sirens? How's that work?
Ha! Plain to see you're no islander.
Clearly.
The Hornwall's horn. One toot, and they plough and scurry off so quick the waves rock your boat.
Okay, what's a Hornwall's horn and where do I get one? But also, I gotta get to Undvik at some point.
Need to get to Undvik.
Another thrill seeker. Well then, listen close, lest you end in a watery grave. Sail out of port and head southwest. Watch for rocks protruding like pricks out of the water. You'll have to do some tricky tacking to get past them. Some of them shorter, just below the surface, so careful not to scrape right over them. They breach your hull, you're done for. 'Cause just a few minutes in that icy water makes a corpse. One time I remember...
Stick to the point.
Oh, fine. Watch for the currents, 'cause they can drag you off course. Dash against the rocks even. With a bit of luck, you'll land on the same beach where Hjalmar landed.
Well, fate does seem to push me in the right direction when it comes to crashing and landing on beaches, so hey, maybe twice is the charm as well. Anyway, thank you.
Nice talking to you, but time I was on my way. So long.
Fair winds to you.
Thank you very much. So, I guess that is that then. Again, that story, people have already heard it. Alright, well, sail to the island of Undvik and search for Hjalmar. Well, not for the time being just yet. We'll do that at some point in the future. Right now, we at least know about it. We have got our plans to sail in this direction and watch out for protruding rocks and whatnot. I might be taking this whole idea of sailing somewhere, anywhere in the Skellige Isles a little bit too lightly, so I'm gonna have to be a little bit more worried about that, I guess, in the future. We're not going to punch any people in the face just yet, we'll do that at a later point. I want to talk to the witnesses of the Drowner attacks, see what the deal is with them. And also, maybe I can actually put that Drown pheromone stuff into proper use, because apparently Drowners won't attack me if I use it. And I do like the sound of that an awful lot, so call me curious. Hi.
Seen the white whale?
What white whale? I've only seen white wolves. I'm definitely not from Nilfgaard. Although, can Vizima currently be counted as Nilfgaard because it has been taken over by Nilfgaard? In which case, yes, I am from Nilfgaard. Sort of. Not entirely, but you get the idea.
See the plans? Strange longship we're building. Bottom's almost flat, and but a 2-foot draft.
By Hjalmar's command, he aims to sail this up to Yaruga, plunder Sodden. Yaruga is a shallow river.
Sure, but you gotta cross the sea first. And this thing'll sink come the first storm.
I said the same, but Hjalmar wouldn't listen. He says, I'll die famous, or come back a rich man. Either way is good.
You'll die famous by setting out the sail and then instantly sinking several feet away from town, basically. Well, that's fair. Anyway, greetings.
Rurik, right? Heard you were on a boat the Drowners attacked.
Aye, I was. With Ulf, my cousin, gathering our crab traps off the Kjerrig cliffs. Ulf was pulling up a line, having a hard time of it. Grand, I thought. Cage has got to be full, it'll be a good haul. Then something tugged back and down. Weren't a blink and Ulf was underwater. Called after him once, twice, thrice. Then the water went red with blood. I smelled something horrid. Rotten, but worse. And the Muir Diablin flipped the boat. Don't even know how I made it ashore. Must have had Freyr watching over me.
That, or the monsters had eaten their fill. Thanks for the story.
Thank you very much. This Muir Diablin... I'm really curious about this one, because it seems like a very powerful Drowner that commands an army of Drowners, maybe. So what else can we learn about this? You were also someone who lost someone here.
Are you Tove? I was told Drowners killed your husband.
Then you were told right. First the sea took my son, and now me man. I'm the only one left.
No, I'm sorry.
Javilla, our son, he went out fishing and didn't come back. My man would walk out to the Kjerrig cliffs every day to watch for his boat. I told him he cannot bring him back to life, and that he could die himself. We'd heard about drowners, but he couldn't sit still. Donned his old coat and went. One night, he didn't come home. I fetched me brother, grabbed a torch, and we went looking for him. The Muira Diablin, sea fiends. They'd clawed him so bad, I only knew him by his coat.
Small comfort, I know. But the Drowner problem will soon end. I promise you that. Farewell.
These Muir Diablin have caused way too much issues in recent times. Which indeed it means it's time for us to put an end to it. So, I'd say, let's see what we can find. Now let's go drowner hunting.
Drowners causing trouble in a place that is surrounded by water really does not come as a surprise. And if it's not the drowners, then you sure as hell know that the sirens will mess you up. But with a bit of luck, there should be nothing that we can't handle.